Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to unpack fascinating topics and, well, hopefully give you a clear understanding pretty quickly.
Exactly.
Today we're getting into something really deep, ancient wisdom, that seems to offer a direct path to understanding existence itself, suffering, and maybe how to find liberation.
Yeah, it's not just about, facts and figures.
No, it feels more like a fundamental shift in perspective, a truly transformative insight.
That's right. And we're going deep today into some specific Pali Canon texts, sections from the Kalakatyavago and Gahatyavago, plus some other key bits.
Right, so these are direct teachings from ancient discourses.
Pretty much. They offer this kind of timeless map to reality. The Dhamma, as it's called here, isn't just belief. It's presented as the way things actually work, especially how suffering starts and stops.
Okay, so our mission today is to pull out the really critical ideas from these teachings.
Yeah.
We're focusing on dependent origination, right?
That's the core of it, yes.
And we want to explore how it explains why things are the way they are, what suffering really is, and how you might get free from it.
Prepare for maybe some real light bulb moments, hopefully.
Let's hope so.
Yeah.
Okay, let's dive in. This blueprint of existence, dependent origination, the Buddha Sutta kicks things off with a question, doesn't it? Something like,
Those who have comprehended the Dhamma and those who are trainees here, tell me, O Master, when asked about their conduct.
Yeah, right. What does that distinction tell us right off the bat? Trainees versus the comprehended.
Well, it signals immediately that there are stages. It's not like you just get it all at once. The Dhamma, the truth, it isn't something you just know in your head. It's more about living it, embodying it, by understanding how causes and effects work.
Independent origination is that causal understanding.
It's the absolute heart of it.
Okay, so the sources lay out this chain, the chain of arising, samudaya, 12 links, starting with ignorance, and it just cascades down to suffering. Can you walk us through the beginning?
Sure. It all kicks off with ignorance, avijjā. And this isn't just like not knowing stuff. It's a really basic misunderstanding of reality, how things really are.
Go.
And because of that ignorance, we perform volitional formations. Sakkara, these are our intentions, our actions, physical, verbal, mental.
So like doing things based on not seeing clearly.
Exactly. Like if you don't see the cliff edge that's ignorance, you might just walk right towards it. Those are the volitional formations.
Got it. So our actions born from misunderstanding, they lead to the next link.
Precisely. Those formations give rise to consciousness, viññā, just basic awareness of an object, seeing, hearing, that sort of thing.
Just the raw awareness.
Yeah, and from that consciousness, name and form emerges. Namarupa, that's basically the mind-body unit. Our mental stuff, like feelings, perceptions, and our physical body, they're intertwined in our experience.
The building blocks of me taking shape.
Kind of, yeah, the components of our individual experience.
Okay, so consciousness, mind-body complex. Then name and form leads to the six sense basis, sayatana. Eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, mind.
Yeah.
Our senses.
Right.
And those lead to contact, phaso, which is just the sense organ meeting an object. Eye meets form.
Exactly. And from that contact, feeling arises. Vedana, pleasant, unpleasant, or just neutral.
The immediate reaction.
Yes. And that feeling conditions craving. That's the thirst, the desire. You eat something pasty, feel pleasure.
You instantly want more.
That's craving.
And craving leads to clinging, upadana, which sounds stronger.
It is. It's more active, not just wanting, but really grasping, holding on.
Okay.
Then clinging fuels becoming. Bhavo. This isn't just static being. It's the active process of continuing, creating the conditions for future existence, future states. It keeps the engine running.
The momentum.
Yeah. And that becoming is the necessary condition for birth. And birth.
And birth. Well, that inevitably leads to aging and death.
Yeah.
Jarāmaraṇa.
Right. And that's the origin of the whole mass of suffering. Sorrow, lamentation, pain, grief, despair. The whole lot.
Wow. So when you lay it out like that, it's really not some abstract philosophy, is it?
Not at all.
It feels like a practical map.
Yeah.
Like this is how suffering is actually generated in my own life right now.
Absolutely. It's the mechanism of our moment-to-moment experience. And the real power here isn't just seeing how it starts.
But how it stops.
Exactly. Yep. The reversal, nirodha. If ignorance completely fades away and ceases, then volitional formations cease, and so on, all the way back up the chain.
So no ignorance, no formations. No formations, no consciousness.
All the way to no birth, no aging and death. And that's the end of sorrow, lamentation, pain, grief, and despair. The whole process unwinds.
Okay, now here's something I found really fascinating in the sources. They talk about how the Buddha deals with these classic philosophical questions like, is the person who acts the same one who experiences the result, or are they different?
Ah, yes. The same or different question.
And he seems to just reject both extremes.
Yeah.
Why is that move so important?
It's crucial because it pulls us away from thinking in terms of a fixed, unchanging self or soul.
Right.
He teaches this middle way, right through dependent origination. It's not about a static self that is the doer or is different from the doer. It's all about the process, the flow of conditions.
So clinging to either it's the same or it's different actually blocks the path.
According to the text, yes, because it ignores this dynamic, conditional nature of things. It gets you stuck searching for a thing, a self, instead of understanding the process. It's quite revolutionary, really. It frees you up to just work with reality as this flow.
That shift from a static self to dynamic processes, it changes everything. And there's that stark statement connected to this.
Wow.
This body is not yours nor anyone else's. It is old karma.
Powerful, isn't it?
It's startling. What kind of freedom does seeing things that way offer?
Well, if you truly grasp it, it's incredibly liberating. This body, this life right now, it's just the result of past actions, past intentions, old karma.
So it's not fundamentally me or mine in some permanent sense.
Exactly. And if you stop clinging to it as me or mine, think about how much suffering that cuts off. Worrying about how it looks, its health, the fact it will decay.
A huge source of our anxiety.
Right. Understanding it as old karma as a result of conditions helps dissolve that attachment. It's applying dependent origination directly to your sense of identity.
Okay, so that's the blueprint, the mechanics. But knowing the mechanics isn't the same as mastering them. The texts distinguish between two types, right? The Seka, the learner, and the Stakatama, the one who's fully got it.
Exactly. The learner, the Seka, is described as someone who sees what is real, kutamira, with right wisdom. Samappaññāyo.
So they're seeing the arising and ceasing.
Yes, and seeing that, they actively work towards disenchantment, dispassion, letting go, cessation. It's an active path. Like an apprentice learning a craft, they're practicing.
Makes sense. It's a journey, not just flipping a switch.
And
then there's the liberated one.
Yes, the Saukhatama. That's the person who has fully seen it all and is released without any clinging left. They recognize birth is destroyed, the holy life has been lived, what had to be done is done, there's no more of this.
The understanding is complete, finished.
Done. They've seen the whole picture and acted on it fully.
Now the sources get incredibly detailed about the depth of knowledge required. They talk about 44 points of knowledge. That sounds specific. It's not just random, is it?
No, not at all. It represents a really thorough, comprehensive understanding. For each of the 11 links we talked about aging and death, back to volitional formations, you need to know 4 things. The link itself, its origin, what causes it, its cessation, how it stops, and the path that leads to its cessation.
Okay, wait. So for each link, you know the what, the why, the how it stops, and the method to stop it.
Exactly. 4 aspects for each of the 11 links. That's 44 points.
And the path to cessation, that's the Noble Eightfold Path. Right view, right intention, etc.
That's explicitly stated, yes.
Wow. Okay, and then it gets even more detailed. 77 points of knowledge.
Yeah, that builds on the 44. It really hammers home the conditional nature. If this exists, that exists. If this doesn't exist, that doesn't exist.
The core principle again.
Right, and it emphasizes this applies across time, past, present, future, and includes knowing that all these conditioned things, whenever they arise, are inherently subject to decay, ending, fading away, cessation, impermanence.
That is incredibly deep. Understanding the links, their impermanence, their conditionality across all time. What does getting to that level of insight actually mean for a person?
The texts say that this kind of understanding makes you accomplished in view, someone who has entered the stream of Dhamma.
Like you're on the path irreversibly.
Sort of, yes. And it says you stand knocking at the gate of the deathless. It signifies a really profound, unshakable insight. It's not just agreeing intellectually, it's a transformation.
Okay, that gives us the map and the depth of understanding needed. But how do we actually walk the path? How does this connect to, practical living and ethical conduct?
A very important connection. The sources stress that when you refrain from harmful actions, killing, stealing, sexual misconduct, lying, taking intoxicants.
The basic precepts.
Yes. When you stop those, 5 fears and enmities cease. This isn't just being told, be good. It shows a direct causal link. Harmful actions create fear.
Fear of consequences. fear from others.
Both in this life and potentially future ones, according to the texts. When you stop the harmful actions, the effect, the fear and enmity naturally subsides, you're actively reducing suffering and cultivating inner peace, a sense of security.
So ethics isn't separate. It's part of the groundwork for peace.
Absolutely. It's foundational. And these ethical standards are part of the 4 factors of stream entry mentioned.
Stream entry again. What are those 4 factors?
Unwavering confidence or faith sutta in the Buddha, the Dhamma, the teaching, and the Sangha, the community of realized practitioners, plus this unblemished ethical conduct.
So confidence in ethics provides stability.
They provide the stable ground needed for deeper insight to develop. You need that base.
Got it. Now, something else that struck me. How the sources connect our everyday senses to the arising of the whole world and suffering.
Ah, yes, the 6 sense basis.
Right. Eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind. It says the arising and cessation of suffering, and even the world, is tied to these senses making contact with objects, leading to feeling, then craving. How does that work moment to moment?
It's basically showing that dependent origination is happening constantly, right at the point of sense contact. Your eye sees something nice, contact. Pleasant feeling arises, craving follows. Your ear hears harsh words, contact. Unpleasant feeling arises, aversion, a form of craving, follows.
So our experience of the world isn't just out there.
No, it's constantly being constructed through this sensory process. The world arises with contact, feeling, craving, and it ceases when that chain is interrupted or understood.
That really brings it down to immediate experience. And then there's the power of intention, even subtle mental states.
Extremely subtle, yes. The texts highlight that even intention, satana, or preconception, pakapeti, or even an underlying tendency, aniseti.
Like a subtle bias or habit.
Kind of, yes. Even these can serve as a basis, a foothold, for consciousness to establish itself. And if consciousness gets established...
It fuels becoming, birth, aging, death, suffering.
Yeah.
The whole chain again.
Exactly. It shows how deep this goes. It's not just about big actions. Our subtle mental habits and intentions are constantly feeding the process.
And the cessation of those subtle things is key to stopping the whole cycle.
Absolutely. If there's no intention, no preconception, no underlying tendency for consciousness to latch onto, it finds no footing. The fuel supply is cut off.
It seems like the Buddha also used this framework, dependent origination, to slice through a lot of philosophical arguments of the time.
Definitely.
Things like, does everything exist versus does nothing exist? Or is everything one versus is everything separate? He didn't pick a side.
No. He used dependent origination as the middle way to show how these extremes miss the point. Things don't absolutely exist independently, nor do they absolutely not exist. They arise conditionally.
So seeing the process avoids the trap.
Yes. It avoids getting stuck in fixed views about being or non-being. It's presented as a more practical, dynamic understanding that bypasses those endless debates. It focuses on how things actually function.
Which leads to direct knowledge, not just theory. The texts say, a well-taught noble disciple knows directly.
When this exists, that comes to be. With the arising of this, that arises, and the reverse. When this does not exist, that does not come to be. With the cessation of this, that ceases.
It's not based on hearsay or belief.
No, it's presented as direct, personal, experiential wisdom, knowing for yourself how this causal process works.
Okay, so if someone listening feels, wow, this understanding sounds incredibly powerful, I want that, what does it actually take? What do these texts say you need to do or cultivate?
Well, the sources, particularly the summary suttas, are very clear. If you don't already have this knowledge, the first step is crucial. You need to seek a teacher.
Right, you can't just puzzle it out alone easily.
Guidance is considered essential. Then there's training sikha, consistent learning, developing understanding.
Not just a one-time read.
No. And then diligent practice yoga, actually applying yourself earnestly, doing the work.
Like an athlete training.
Exactly. And you need the drive, desire, or intent, Jundo. A real aspiration, a strong wish to understand.
That internal fire.
Which fuels striving or exertion, uso or virya, putting in the effort, the energy. It won't happen passively.
And you got to stick with it. Perseverance, Apaibani. Not giving up, not turning back.
Right. Along with zeal or ardor, atapai. Real intensity and commitment in the application.
Okay. What else?
Continuity or persistence, Satakai. Keeping the effort going over time. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Mm-hmm.
And then, absolutely critical, mindfulness, sati, and clear comprehension, sappajanya. Paying attention, seeing things clearly as they actually are moment by moment.
Seeing reality without the usual filters.
That's the idea. And finally, diligence or heedfulness apamadana. Constant care, watchfulness in your thoughts and actions, being mindful of the path.
So it's a whole suite of qualities. These are the active ingredients, then, for moving beyond just hearing about this stuff to actually understanding it deeply.
That's what the texts lay out. These are the qualities that lead from just information to real insight and mastery.
Well, we've certainly taken a deep dive today into these really profound Pali Canon texts. We've unpacked this intricate web of cause and effect dependent origination that they say underlies everything, existence, suffering.
And crucially, not just the problem, but the solution. The path to cessation, all laid out in these ancient discourses. It's quite remarkable, really.
It really is. So here's something to maybe leave you with. If every single experience, every thought, every feeling just arises because of a prior condition in this chain, how does really knowing that, really internalizing it, change your sense of control or freedom in your own life? What stands out for you in grappling with this complex but maybe ultimately liberating picture?